stop at Dillon Motor Speedway, and we'll be joined by the history-making winner Tristan McKee. We'll also be joined by Carlisle to get his unique perspective on the Cars Tour, and we'll talk some street stock racing. Plus, we'll preview this weekend's Cars late model stock action at Dominion. Cars Tour Weekly presented by Pepperjack Kennels is next. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Cars Tour Weekly presented by Pepperjack Kennels. I'm Jess Ballard, and we are joined again by JD Bowsher.
Hello, thank you for having me again.
Yes, thanks for joining us.
You're
2 weeks in a row.
Right.
She decided to come back. Before we get started, I want to tell you guys a little bit about our friends at Pepperjack Kennels. If you're looking for the best water or land training for your retriever, then look no further than Pepperjack Kennels. To find out more, just go to pepperjackkennels.com. And we talked a little bit last week. Neither of us have retrievers, but if we did,
that's where we'd go.
That's right. So we'll just get started here. Late model stocks had this past weekend off.
Yes.
So the focus was on the pro late models at Dillon, and JD, we talked about it a little bit last week.
Right.
Dillon is a very tough track to get around.
Is. Yes. And for a 12-year-old to really go and win there, I just think that's amazing.
Yeah.
I think it's so phenomenal.
So Tristan, youngest winner in Cars Tour history, period. Yeah. And it came, the first season that they lowered the age requirement. So that is a great story, and I'm really looking forward to talking to him. Stay tuned for that. But let's look at the highlights as pole sitter George Phillips and TJ DeCare lead the field to turn one at the start. Tristan McKee slides back a little, but when he decides to make the move for the lead, he goes and never looks back. McKee leads the rest of the way and becomes the youngest winner in Cars Tour history at just 12 years of age. JD, we know the competition has really stepped up a notch this year in pro late models, so this makes this win for Tristan even that more impressive.
Yeah, that's a pretty stout group of people. I mean, to go out and be 12, I couldn't imagine being 12 years old and let alone racing against these guys and winning. I mean, I know there were some critics of that rule change, but I feel like this really silenced them because this kid went out and he did it.
Yeah.
He did it in an excellent fashion.
Totally proved himself. What do you think about these series having these minimum age requirements? I mean, I can honestly see it from both sides.
Yeah, loaded question. So I see kind of like they're young and, what if they hit their head too hard, too young? And then I also see, what if a 12-year-old's not mature enough to be, as I think I heard Peyton Sellers say it one time, racing against professionals, racing against adults. And then you also got to look at, there's always those special few, you sprinkle in that handful of kids that they have it and they have it all around. And that's what we're seeing. So it's kind of a loaded question. I think with the kids that are 12, like Tristan, that are doing it now, I think that's the right group. But, my concern is somebody that is 12 that's not to that level. Are they going to come in and ruin it for everybody? So I can't really tell you. I mean, that's kind of have to see if we go.
And like when your family was, your granddad and your father, when they were racing like in ARCA, this is just something that you would never see.
No, it was unheard of. Back in the day, when the young guns really started coming around, everybody was kind of like, oh, and they blew them off. They didn't know what was to come, but it was completely unheard of. I mean, ARCA would have never had that. And my grandpa would have been like laughing in their face. So it's kind of crazy how times have changed and how things have come along in the past 20, 30 years.
Yeah, I think a lot of it has to do with technology.
Yeah.
These kids being able to train not on the track.
Simulators.
I mean,
it's really been a game changer. I didn't think it was going to be so much of a game changer, but it really has been. It's kind of impressed me with how much it has helped so many people.
For sure. Well, when we come back, we will talk to Tristan McKee. More Cars Tour Weekly presented by Pepperjack Kennels when we come back.
HMS Motorsport is the leader in motorsport safety, providing the most advanced driver safety products to NASCAR, IndyCar, sprint cars, and sports cars drivers. From grassroots to professional racers, HMS Motorsport has over 25 years' experience outfitting drivers with the best gear on the market. Equipped with first-hand product knowledge, our experts are ready to help you select the best harness belts, seats, head restraints, helmets, and racing attire for your type of racing. HMS is even the exclusive importer for Schroed belts, Schubert helmets, and Valero base layers. Visit one of our stores in Mooresville, North Carolina, or Danvers, Massachusetts, or check us online at hmsmotorsport.com, where you can learn the details of our products and order online. Safety starts here.
5-Star Bodies, the most advanced bodies on the market, aerodynamically engineered, manufactured from the highest grade and lightest weight materials, tested tough for optimum performance. The highest quality and most durable products you'll find anywhere. Our products help racers around the world reach victory lane. Winning never looked so good. Faster, lighter, stronger, better. 5-Star.
Mark your calendars for Thursday, June 15th, and a wild night of short track racing at State Park Speedway. See some of Wisconsin's top super late model stars compete on the tough quarter mile and the Flip Merwin Memorial. Add in the Bandoleros and more for a night of full family entertainment. It's all at State Park Speedway Thursday, June 15th. Racing starts at 6:30. You can see it only on Racing America.
What creates a winning combination? Quality, focus, discipline, and most importantly, speed. At Pepperjack Kennels, we provide exceptional water and land training services for hardworking retrievers. From leading in the field to leading on the track, together we establish winning dogs and a winning team. Devoted to retrievers and motorsports, we are Pepperjack Kennels. Visit us online to learn more.
Welcome back, everybody, to Cars Tour Weekly, presented by Pepperjack Kennels. I'm joined here by JD Bowsher. And this year was the first year that the Cars Tour, they dropped the age requirement for the series. So going into this year, I'm not quite sure what the age was, but why this is important is because on the line now we have Tristan McKee, who was our Pro Late Model winner this weekend at Dillon, the youngest winner in Cars Tour history. Tristan, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, no problem.
So obviously that really worked out in your favor for the Cars Tour to lower the age requirement going into this season. And I'm sure once that was announced, you guys kind of made your racing plans. What do you remember what the age was before this year?
Yeah, it was 14.
14. Okay, so, and is it 12 now?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so Tristan is 12 years old, and what does it feel like to have that title, youngest winner in series history? This has got to be so exciting for you.
Yeah, it means a lot. I mean, it's just really crazy.
Yeah, for sure. And it was a great race this weekend. And, I think throughout the season, it's, you're getting comfortable and, trying to get your footing. For the folks that are watching that may not know, what has your racing career been like up until now when you are running with the Cars Tour?
I started in dirt go-karts, and then I moved on to Bandoleros and on to legend cars. I ran late model stocks last year and the year before, and then since they lowered the age, we started to run the pros this year, and, we're still figuring it out. I feel like we've gotten a lot better, and, we're just still learning.
Now, Tristan, I know you're running the Pro Cars Tour late models this year, but you guys are off this weekend for the pros. What are you going to run this weekend?
We were planning on running in Florida, but we found out that I'm not old enough, so I'm not sure if we have anything planned for this weekend.
Is that something that you guys run into often?
Yes.
I mean, to have this type of, it's such an interesting, discussion, because I think that, there's a reason that the age requirements are in place, safety, whatever you want to call it. But there are a lot of, this next generation of drivers, there are a lot of young drivers that have so much seat time and really do have, sometimes more experience than some of the older guys in the series. So, and when we were talking offline a little bit before we got started, we were asking you if you were still in school. So tell us a little bit about juggling driving and going to school. And what grade are you in?
I'm in 7th grade.
7th grade. Okay. And you were telling us you do online classes. Is that right?
Yeah, I do Liberty Online University.
That's awesome. And is it tough to balance those two things, or is it kind of easy staying busy to kind of keep your schedule structured?
It's a little, hard, but it's a lot easier than when I went to in-person school.
Yeah, for sure. I'm definitely sure that makes it a lot easier. So you do online school and obviously you race. So when you're not doing those two things, what are you doing in your free time to have fun?
I don't know. I like to iRace a lot. Just kind of depends.
Well, talk us through what went down this weekend at Dillon in those final laps of the race.
I don't know. I was a little nervous. I got by Ashton Higgins with about 15 to go. We had a good battle, and I kind of set sail from there and ended up with the checkered flag.
So you've already got your first race win under your belt. How do you feel more confident going on into the further races out, or are you still kind of nervous? Like, okay, I got one, but maybe it was just that one, or do you feel like you can really win more races this year?
I feel like we really can. We've gained a lot of confidence since, North Wilkesboro, we had a really good run there, finished 4th. And then Tri-County, we finished 7th, and then Dillon 1st. So I feel like we've gained a lot of confidence here lately, and I feel like we could go get another one.
Yeah, and that 4th place finish at Wilkesboro, that was a huge deal. Tell us a little bit about the team you're running with. Who's on the team, what kind of operation it is, the name, and where you guys are located.
So we have our own cars. We do everything in-house, and we're in Hampton, Virginia. I have 2 full-time guys pretty much, and then one of our crew guys, Joe, he comes to the track with us every weekend. My crew chief, Dwayne, always is at the shop and at the racetrack, and we pretty much do it on our own, do our own cars, and do our own stuff.
And have those guys been with you, throughout the different divisions in your career?
Yeah, my crew chief, Dwayne, he helped us with late model stocks, and he's still learning. We're all still learning about the pros. And Joe's been with us since the go-karting days. He's been with us since almost day one. So
you said you have your own cars. So are you out there working in the shop too, or do you kind of just leave that for the guys that work for y'all?
Yeah, I'm pretty much in the shop every day because, I come to the shop and do my schoolwork and then go to the shop and help the guys.
And what went into the decision of making the jump from late model stocks to the pros?
We've always liked the pro lates. I ran them in California before I started late model stocks, and I did the junior pro lates at Madera Speedway. And I always liked the pro lates, and we just figured we'd try something since it was Cars Tour and they lowered the age, and we just figured we'd try it, and we've really liked it so far.
So you've raced all these different things. You're running the Pro Series right now, pretty much full time. What's your favorite thing to run? Is that your favorite, or do you still like to go run the micro sprints? Like, what's your favorite thing to do?
I like the pro lates better than late model stocks, and I don't know, I like the micro sprints as well. I like the pros and the micro sprints the best.
So not everyone goes into the short track ranks with the goal of making it to the Premier Series, to NASCAR or whatever their goals may be. But what's your goal? Do you have a long-term goal in racing, or are you just kind of taking it one race at a time?
I've always had the dream of going to NASCAR, but we're just pretty much taking it one race at a time, just seeing where it'll take me. I've always wanted to go to NASCAR.
Well, you're certainly making a name for yourself out there. Again, this is Tristan McKee. He is the youngest winner. Oh, Alan's in the booth right here. He wants to know who your favorite driver is in NASCAR.
In NASCAR?
Yep.
It was Kurt Busch. I like Kyle Busch now. I don't know, maybe Martin Truex as well.
Okay. Those are all solid choices.
Yeah, good choices.
Yeah. Again, this is Tristan McKee. He is the youngest Cars Tour winner, period, throughout the whole series ever. At 12 years old. Tristan, congratulations. Great job at Dillon, and good luck the rest of the season. We'll be watching.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, coming up next, we'll talk to Boo Carlisle about why he loves racing in the Cars Tour and his upcoming plans. Cars Tour Weekly presented by Pepperjack Kennels. We'll be right back right after this.
ASA returns to the Milwaukee Mile at Wisconsin State Fair Park Father's Day Sunday, June 18th, as Track Enterprises present the ASA Stars National Tour and ASA Midwest Tour. See the nation's top drivers with the best super late model stars in the Father's Day 100, presented by Hot Brothers Pizza. Four other great racing series will also be in action. Tickets available online at MilwaukeeMileRacing.com or at the gate on race day. For complete details, go to MilwaukeeMileRacing.com. Racing returns to Milwaukee Sunday, June 18th.
SRI Performance and Stock Car Steel are your all-inclusive motorsports warehouses with more than 450 product lines. They have everything to put you in victory lane, from professional racing to street performance. SRI and Stock Car Steel have you covered with leading brands as well as a large selection of steel, aluminum, and plastics. With locations in North Carolina and Indiana, access has never been easier. SRI has the world's largest inventory of used parts. SRI Performance and Stock Car Steel and Aluminum, your one-stop shops for everything racing.
Hey, I'm William Byron, and you're watching Racing America.
Welcome back to Cars Tour Weekly, presented by Pepperjack Kennels. We have got the Boo Carlisle on the phone. Boo, thanks for joining us.
Absolutely. Thank you, ladies, for having me.
I was trying to think of a word to describe you. Just the crowd favorite, the man, Boo Carlisle. And Boo, okay, something that you and I have in common is that we do not come, I believe, you do not come from a bloodline of racers. Is that right?
I don't. I sure don't. I was the first one of the kind after my family.
And just give us a brief synopsis of how you found yourself here. You know, you produce all of this content for short track racing. You're a driver yourself. How did we get here?
I was a fan at Lanier Speedway, and I live in North Georgia, North Carolina. Just because my home's in Georgia, my heart's in Georgia, so I make the drive to all these Cars Tour events that are like this weekend to Dominion Speedway. It'd be a little over 10 hours. But I was a fan at Lanier Speedway, had no clue before social media come along how to get on the other side of the fence. So I done the only thing I knew to do, which was save money, buy a car. When I first started racing, I was by far the slowest thing at the racetrack, but it was the most fun field to this day I ever had. My first year, I did not finish a single race on the lead lap, but it was still the most fun I had. You know, with social media nowadays, it's real easy. You know, teams are always looking for help at the track, whether it be pushing the car to qualifying or, you know, content creators like I'm doing now. You know, anybody can really do this as long as you got a passion for it. But that's how I started. I was a fan, had no clue how to get on the other side, finally figured out how to get on the other side, and that's when I figured out how much racing cost.
Well, samesies in a lot of ways. Our stories are similar. And I wanted to ask you, being from Georgia, and because I'm from Ohio, so we're like on opposite sides of the Cars Tour region. How did you find out about the Cars Tour?
I was actually a Hooters Pro Cup fan. They would come to Jefferson, Georgia, which was Peach State Speedway, during the Hooters Pro Cup days. So I just continued to follow it as it became the XR1 Pro Cup series. Then it became the Cars Tour eventually, and I just followed it along through that. I had a brief period where I worked at Gresham Motorsports Park full time in 2014 and 15. So about the time the Cars Tour was coming along, I just become a fan of it. And, next thing I know, I start back street stock racing and the YouTube stuff takes off. And before I know it, I'm working with Bobby McCarty, and that door opened more doors. And now, the doors of Keeley's kicked the doors completely open this year.
So you're running the Cars Tour series, but you come from street stocks. Would you say the street stocks always have your heart, or are you leaning more towards these late models now?
No, I'll always be the open trailer guy that barely has enough money to get back home. That'll always have my heart. I mean, I got plenty of friends on both sides. I joke around with Keeley about there's front straightaway guys and back straightaway guys. And she came spot for me last year at Tri-County Speedway. And she was like, it's a completely different world. And I was like, yeah, they wear blue jeans back here. They don't wear all black back here. Like, it's a hobby back here. It's a business up front. But I enjoy both sides of it. But no, I'll bleed street stock, local division blood until I pass away.
Yeah, I love that.
I love it.
Yeah. So I wanted to circle back to the content creation. And, that's something I'm so passionate about for probably the same reason you are, is because when I stumbled upon racing, I was actually working at a pizza shop when I graduated from high school, and one of the delivery drivers raced compacts at the local track, and he had invited me to go to one of his races, and it only took one trip to Columbus Motor Speedway before I was like, oh, this is what I'm going to do for the rest of my life. This is the coolest thing I've ever seen. But the problem I ran into was that I didn't know how to get involved. I didn't know, like you said, the positions were for me to be involved more than just being a fan in the stands. And so I like to share my journey and my experiences in racing because I would have really loved to have witnessed that. I think it could have helped me not feel so like, this is such a struggle to be involved. And that's why I think it's important, is like you're kind of preaching the good word of short track racing and making it, I guess the word is accessible. So tell me a little, I'm sure that's probably, your driving force as well, but why do you think content creation and that type of stuff on social media is so important?
It allows people, in my opinion, that per se don't have that much knowledge of it, that the working man can still do it. I mean, I feel like a lot of people don't think that, the man or the lady punching the time clock, the 40-hour-a-week lady or man can afford to race. And that is true on some aspects of, late model stock racing, but with the street stock stuff, you can. And I feel like that's what this showed with my YouTube stuff. It started out with kicking asphalt, that, hey, it still is affordable. It still is true family fun like the 1980s. Just because it's 40 years later, we still make bologna sandwiches and eat bags of potato chips on an open trailer and have just as much fun as I have at these Cars Tour races. It's just a completely different experience, and that's what I want people to realize is I'll go to the racetrack on any given Saturday, and with pit passes, tires, and fuel, I'll spend around $325 to $375. And then obviously ain't none of us making money at doing this. We all love it. You might win $150, $125. So for $250, I can go make memories with my friends, family, and have that nostalgia feel that I desired so much growing up that I wasn't able to experience it because I didn't know how to get on the other side of the fence. I can still show all that through YouTube, and more people are telling me that, hey, we watched your YouTube stuff. We have bought a race car, whether it be front wheel drive or street stock or mini stock or, just anything. So I just really want people to understand. I love the Cars Tour with all my heart. I do. They have, Keeley and Jack have kicked open doors that money couldn't have kicked open. So I'll always love the Cars Tour, but at the same time, I want everybody to understand that all divisions is affordable and accessible, and everybody's welcome. It's kind of like everybody's welcome to eat at the table.
I absolutely love that. So I have to ask you a little bit about, is it the GXS Street Stock Series? Tell me a little bit about that.
It is. Me and Stephen Dunn have started a series where, Street Stocks is more of a local division. I feel like it's right there on the brink of your Saturday night local, Friday night local division, and a touring series potentially if somebody wanted to do it. Well, we was the two that took it on, and thanks again to Jack and Keeley for our first race. You know, they welcomed us in at Tri-County. Our second race is coming up at Anderson Motor Speedway down here in South Carolina, June 30th. But what we're trying to do is, I mean, it's no secret that me and Stephen Dunn of GXS Wraps are, you know, big partners of the Cars Tour, and we watched what they done, and we've just pretty much put it into a street stock series as far as promotional way of doing stuff, race day of doing stuff. I mean, at our first race, we had the Cars Tour director, our race director, you know, Daniel Willard, calling our race. So, I mean, I'm not by no means afraid to be called a copycat on this deal. We're trying to, I guess you could say, do a Cars Tour street stock, you know, but it's just called the GXS street stocks. And, you know, they were nice enough to welcome us to the first one. So we're looking to have around 6 races this year, and then potentially a bigger schedule next year, just to show everybody that, hey, street stock racing is great too, you know, and it's affordable. Yeah, like I said again, I'll call them drive it home with a hammer. You know, it is affordable for the working man that's got 2 kids at home.
So exciting, and you are keeping so busy. We, of course, have your blog, your Cars Tour blog here on Racing America. Just list off everywhere where we can find you and your content.
Oh, man, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. I mean, anything that could try to draw eyes to show people how good Cars Tour racing and just short track racing overall is. You know, I'm putting it out on every platform that I know.
Yeah, I saw you were mowing the grass on Twitter this weekend. Will you come mow my grass?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
I try not to get stuck in the pitch. Yeah, that won't be no problem.
Well, thank you for all you do for not only the Cars Tour, but short track racing in general. And thank you for joining us today. We really appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thank you, ladies. We'll see you at the racetrack.
We'll see you then. Well, stay tuned, and we will preview the Cars Late Model Stocks race at Dominion after this break.
What creates a winning combination? Quality, focus, discipline, and most importantly, speed. At Pepperjack Kennels, we provide exceptional water and land training services for hardworking retrievers. From leading in the field to leading on the track, together we establish winning dogs and a winning team. Devoted to retrievers and motorsports, we are Pepperjack Kennels. Visit us online to learn more.
Welcome to Raceface Digital Collectible Cards. Are you a driver or a team looking to expand your brand? Want to connect with your fans, give sponsors more exposure, and earn income from all card sales? Then Raceface Digital has you covered. Digitize your brand with 5 different collectible cards. Enrollment is now open to all drivers and all series. Visit racefacedigital.com today and use invite code RA1.
Believe it. Right now, racing, in my opinion, is as healthy as it's been in the last 15 to 20 years.
Just wanting to make that first lap.
Go.
Mark your calendars for Thursday, June 15th, and a wild night of short track racing at State Park Speedway. See some of Wisconsin's top super late model stars compete on the tough quarter mile and the Flip Merwin Memorial. Add in the Bandoleros and more for a night of full family entertainment. It's all at State Park Speedway Thursday, June 15th. Racing starts at 6:30. You can see it only on Racing America.
Welcome back to Cars Tour Weekly, presented by Pepperjack Kennels. And remember, for world-class retriever training, check out pepperjackkennels.com. So, it will be the pro late models' turn to have the weekend off, while the Cars late models get back to it on Saturday at Dominion. JD, another trip to Virginia this weekend. Could it be another Connor Hall and Butterbean Queen show?
Oh, absolutely. I foresee those two being, you know, neck and neck all year. They're both so talented. and they're both just such awesome guys. So, and then you got Kirsten Quapple in there. I mean, it's really, those three I think are going to be it this year. 1, 2, 3 all around.
Which is just so exciting for us, for the fans, for everyone watching in the stands at home. This has just kind of turned into a really fun storyline to be following. So it's going to be exciting regardless. And I also wanted to point out that Isabella Robusto is back on the entry list. So that is going to be her first race back since that scary incident. Where was that? Hickory. Yeah, this is her first race back. I'm really excited to see her on the entry list, just because we didn't really know how long it was going to be.
It was kind of a scary thing with the head injury. You really don't know. So I'm glad to see she's on the entry list. I hope she performs well. I hope she's doing well. You know, she's such a talent. You know, they really need her. Like, who doesn't want to see her do good? I mean, she's such a strong woman. So I'm glad to see her back.
Yeah, for sure. And if you remember when that incident happened, I mean, she had been racing hard for the lead that entire race.
Yeah, and then she jumped back in the car and ran the other race.
Yes.
She didn't even think about it. So she's a real racer.
For sure. So we are wishing her the best and very excited to see that. Well, JD, thanks for being with us again today. We also want to thank Tristan, McKee, and Boo Carlisle for joining us today. And remember, for replays of this show and more, go to racingamerica.tv and be sure to check out Racing America's 24/7 channel on connected devices. And of course, racingamerica.com and all of our social channels for any breaking news from the NASCAR Cup Series to the Cars Tour and everything in between. Stay with Racing America next for Dirty Air with Rodney Rodriguez. And for JD Bowsher, I'm Jess Ballard saying thanks again for joining us. We'll see you next week on Cars Tour Weekly to break down all the action from Dominion. And we'll see you then.
What creates a winning combination? Quality, focus, discipline, and most importantly, speed. At Pepperjack Kennels, we provide exceptional water and land training services for hardworking retrievers. From leading in the field to leading on the track, together we establish winning dogs and a winning team. Devoted to retrievers and motorsports, we are Pepperjack Kennels. Visit us online to learn more.
Welcome to Raceface Digital Collectible Cards. Are you a driver or a team looking to expand your brand? Want to connect with your fans, give sponsors more exposure, and earn income from all card sales? Then Raceface Digital has you covered. Digitize your brand with 5 different collectible cards. Enrollment is now open to all drivers and all series. Visit racefacedigital.com today and use invite code RA1.
Ready to take your brand to the next level? At Victory Lane Design, we can help. If you are looking for a professional website, cutting-edge logo, a hero card that separates you from the pack, or video production to keep you connected with your fans, then check out VictoryLaneDesign.com, where winning counts.
Mark your calendars for Thursday, June 15th, and a wild night of short track racing at State Park Speedway. See some of Wisconsin's top super late model stars compete on the tough quarter mile and the Flip Merwin Memorial. Add in the Bandoleros and more for a night of full family entertainment. It's all at State Park Speedway Thursday, June 15th. Racing starts at 6:30. You can see it only on Racing America.